हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू मेरिडियन ओवरसीज। आज का जो सेशन है वो कम्प्लीटली आपका इंटरव्यू बेस्ड है कि आपका क्रेडिबिलिटी इंटरव्यू आपको कैसे करना है और साथ ही साथ यूकेवीआई के जो इंटरव्यूज हो रहा है उसको आपको कैसे उसके लिए प्रिपरेशन करनी है। सो उसके लिए टुडे वी हैव मिस्टर पवेल बावा फ्रॉम यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ ईस्ट लंडन। वेलकम मिस्टर पवेल।
Thank you so much, Amar.
We have been seeing a lot of refusals just because of credibility interview, even though students have good communication skills. Hello friends, welcome to Meridean Overseas. आज का जो सेशन है वो completely आपका इंटरव्यू बेस्ड है कि आपका credibility इंटरव्यू आपको कैसे करना है, साथ ही साथ यूकेबीआई के जो इंटरव्यूज हो रहा है उसको आपको कैसे उसके लिए प्रिपरेशन करनी है। So उसके लिए today we have Mr. Pavel Bawa from University of East London. Welcome, Mr. Pavel.
Thank you so much, Amar.
We have been seeing a lot of refusals just because of credibility interview, even though students have good communication skills. Hello friends, welcome to Meridean Overseas. आज का जो सेशन है वो completely आपका इंटरव्यू बेस्ड है कि आपका credibility इंटरव्यू आपको कैसे करना है।
Though a technical issue, but we can confirm that we sound really good, audible enough.
Welcome, Mr. Pavel.
Thank you so much, Amar.
We have been seeing a lot of refusals just because of credibility interview. Yeah, so we are fine now.
Good.
So yeah, I was saying that we are getting a lot of refusals just because of credibility interview, and even though students have good communication skills, they are getting refusals just because they are not preparing themselves for a lot of questions which UKVI is asking them, including their future plans and things like that. So, as per your guidance and your presentation, we'll learn how to answer them. And so yeah, please start your presentation and enlighten the students how they can answer and how their visa chances will increase, and their credibility interview from universities they can clear properly.
Definitely, Amar. Thank you so much for giving the brief idea about how we are going to run this particular webinar. We understand that the students are getting rejected is because we want the students to be prepared from an academic point of view. So in fact, for us also, we do not feel happy to reject the students. We in fact want to welcome as many as we can during every intake. But students need to understand the expectations from the precast interview or the credibility interview. From the name itself, we can figure it out. It is more about a student explaining how genuine they are when they apply for the student visa towards their academics, right? So there are a set of questions that I'm going to run a presentation. I will be explaining, I'll be going through the meaning of the precast interview and how is it related to the credibility interview. It's the same thing. It's just that when we conduct inside the university, when we conduct it, we call it precast interview. CAS is the confirmation of acceptance for studies letter. So before we issue that letter to a student, we conduct the interview. Completely in line with the guidelines of United Kingdom Visas and Immigration. So UKVI, when they conduct an interview, they call it credibility interview. Right. So I will proceed and share my presentation with everyone, where we'll cover more about in detail about the precast interview and the questions and how we conduct it at the University of East London. So I would like to focus on the expectations that an interviewer has from the interviewee, from the student and applicant who is appearing for the interview. So how they are supposed to answer a question, because sometimes the students, they are really good in English, their command on English is good, but then they feel that they are giving accurate and natural, precise answers, as being as personal as possible, but it is exactly not meeting the expectations of the interview criteria. So so that leads to disappointment for the applicants also, and we have seen it several times. And but it is that is the whole need that we need to explain to the student that what exactly is that they are expected to cover during the during the precast interview, right? How they are supposed to prepare for it. Okay, so we at the University of East London, my name is Pavel Bawa. I'm the Senior Recruitment Advisor for South Asia at the University of East London. And we at the University of East London, we are a compliance-rich university, and we make sure that each and every student or applicant of ours whom we are going to issue CAS letter, they are thoroughly prepared for the UKVI interview, for the whole UKVI visa application process. So the reason why we conduct a thorough pre-CAS interview before we issue the CAS letter to any applicant, we assess their financial documents thoroughly. We go through their medical documents as well. All right, so UKVI, which is UK Visas and Immigration, they conduct credibility interview for the Tier 4, but now it's not known as student visa. So UKVI conduct the visa for student visa applicants before granting them immigration permission to study in the UK. So the purpose of this interview is to ascertain that your intention to study in the UK is genuine, right? So you are completely focused on your academics. You have concrete future plans, which we will definitely cover in the further slides of my presentation. The interview will be conducted in English, and therefore your English language ability will also be assessed, because you are applying for your student visa for your higher studies in an English speaking country. So definitely your command on English is of paramount importance, right? So the interview will normally take place after you have enrolled your biometrics with the UKVI, but with the university, it takes place after you have paid the deposit. So when a student receives the unconditional offer letter, I hope everybody is able to see my screen, Amar. Everybody is able to see my screen, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So when we issue an unconditional offer letter to an applicant, that is when a student is supposed to pay the deposit. So when our finance department is able to trace the deposit amount of the student, it gets linked to the student record, and at the portal, the students will then that is when the student will be able to go through their international checks, which is pre-CAS interview. That is one, and then the second is the financial documents, also known as maintenance documents. And the third is the medical certificate, your TB certificate. The submission or appearing for the interview or submission of the documents is one thing, but clearing these three processes is a different scenario. So only when a student, an applicant, has passed these three stages is when they reach out to the CAS issuance stage. Okay, so this interview, pre-CAS interview, is normally conducted via a video link or via Skype, and is approximately 20 to 25 minutes or 30 minutes long, depending upon the profile that you have. The interviewer may also want to take a second or more detailed interview if they feel that this, they need further clarification, or during the first round, the student was not able to provide clarification over certain areas, or the performance or the answers were slightly weak, right? So at max, a student is provided with 2 chances. So please make sure that you double check your contact details. They are correct, and check your email and phone regularly for any updates. So we will be proceeding further to the questions. The questions that are asked during the interview will focus on your reasons for coming to the UK, and will include questions about your background, your immigration history, your previous qualification, your study plans, what are your future plans, and how are you going to finance it, and where you are going to live in the UK, right? Or if you have any immediate family members in the UK, right? So at the beginning of the interview, you'll be asked to confirm your identity, where you'll be asked, what is your applicant ID? So make sure you remember your applicant ID. It's a 7-digit code mentioned on your offer letter. You'll be asked, what course are you applying for? So if you are applying for MSc Computer Science, do not just mention computer science, right? So mention it completely that you are applying for MSc Computer Science or Masters of Business Administration. So be as clear, as precise as possible during the interview, right? So then you will be asked that what will be the location of your visa application. Mention your city that you'll be applying in: Jaipur or Ahmedabad or Delhi or Hyderabad or Chandigarh, so accordingly, the nearest BFS global office near you, okay? Then the very first question that you'll be asked will be in regard to your immigration history. If you have had any prior visa refusal or any prior visa, or if you have had any, visa breach. So if in any unfortunate case, yes, you have had that, then you need to explain that why were you rejected earlier, and why do you think that this time your visa application will be successful? So you should be able to justify this. But this particular question, if it is a yes over here, that yes, you have had a rejection and you have had a visa breach earlier, it is completely profile centric, and in those cases, I would advise that you reach out to Amar or Meridean team, and then we can discuss how to justify your answer in a more appropriate manner. But we prefer that it is a no. So in case of any previous visa refusal, credibility visa refusal, the chances of your visa rejection becomes higher, right? So it is very sensitive, and you should be able to justify in a strong manner. Okay. The next question would be that why do you want to study in the UK? So explain what exactly attracted you to the UK, then again from an academic point of view, rather than your home country, which is India, and the course that you have chosen to study at UEL. So engage yourself with the subjects, the modules that you're going to study at the University of East London, right? And connect them with your future plans. Try and understand future plans are, if you have your future plans ready, the question number 4 mentioned on this slide, if you have future plans ready, that is the foundation of this particular credibility interview. So I will come to that particular question, but it is really important for you to pay attention, right? So coming back to why UK, what makes it better than similar courses in India or other English-speaking countries such as Canada or USA or Australia? So when you're comparing why UK and why not India, you can focus on saying that India does have really renowned and reputed institutions as well, but the education infrastructure, the institution, those good institutions can only cater to around 17 or 18% of the youth as per. You need to mention the source also. I believe I had read it at research done by Deloitte, but you can, whatever information you give, you need to provide facts and figures and the source of information. So in India, it is necessary for students to be able to get admission or secure admission in a reputed or renowned institution. It is necessary to appear for the national level entrance examinations. Then again, you need to have really high academic score percentage, competitive, and even after that, you have to clear a group discussion round and an interview to be able to secure a seat for yourself. So lakhs of students appear for the entrance examination, and only 1,000 of them, they get the chance to get an admission or secure an admission in a renowned institution, while the others, they have to take admission in a private institution, which the cost of majority of those institutions is similar to what a student will be spending in UK in a modern university. Like for example, if you're doing MBA from a private institute in India, you on an average you will end up spending around 10 to 12 lakhs, and that is on an average what a student spend in the UK also in a modern university. While the quality of education is the difference between the quality of education is quite noticeable. So in India, in a private institution in India, there will be a lack of industry exposure, whether the curriculum is industry oriented or not. While on the other hand, in UK, the curriculum is industry oriented. The assessment or the way the classes are held are more practical based. So this is how you can frame your answer in terms why UK and why not your home country. So if you have to answer that, why not other English speaking countries like Canada, Australia, or USA? Those countries also have really good education institutes, but you can frame in a way that if for example, let's say a student applying for a Masters of Business Administration, so the course duration in UK is of 1 year, while in Canada, USA, Australia, majorly it is of 2 years, right? So, but if that is what you can focus on, but if your course you have applied for the placement here, you need to remember to mention that However, I understand that my course duration is of 1 year plus 9 months, but the academic duration of my course is of 1 year, and when I will graduate from a UK university, that is from University of East London, I will graduate with 1 year of international academic skill set knowledge and 9 months of international work life experience. While if I graduate from Canada or USA or Australian institute, try to name or specify 1 or 2 institutions over there to demonstrate that yes, you have done some research and you are not assuming or mentioning just out of the blue. So try to provide evidence-based answers that will give you more points. So ABC Institute in Canada, which I had looked at, when I will graduate from there, after 2 years, I'll graduate as a fresher. So I will end up spending more. The quality of education is internationally recognized at both the Canadian Institute and the UK Institute. The quality is same, but the cost at a UK university is lesser, and the benefit is that I will graduate with 9 months of work experience, which will eventually be really helpful for me, beneficial for me when I will come back to India and proceed with my future plans. So the moment you will mention future plans, in a way you'll be manoring your interview. So there might be a possibility the interviewer will ask you that what exactly are your future plans, and you will have that future plans ready with you, and that will give you good points as well. All right, let's straight away proceed to the future plans, which is the 4th question in the slide, and later we'll come back to question number 3. So, like I mentioned earlier, your future plans are the foundation. It's like the root of this credibility interview. So there are 5 points that you need to remember. You need to show that your intention is to come back to India after the completion of the course. If you are successful, you get a job, you get sponsored, it is good. It is really good for you. But before, when you are applying for student visa, during that time, at this point of time, your intention has to be focused clearly on the academics to complete your your degree to enhance your skill set, which are irrelevant to your future plans. Yeah, right? So your intention has to be to come back to India after the completion of your degree. Okay. So first is to explain your intention that after the completion of my course, I'll come back to India. Second is a clarity over your job designation. So mention it clearly that after the completion of the course, I'll come back to India and I will apply for any one single designation. Do not mention I'll apply for a job, I'll apply for some jobs in top MNCs, or I will apply for a finance manager or for marketing manager or for operations manager. Then again, you are showcasing no clarity. So from UKVI point of view, when you have decided to invest lakhs of money and 2 to 3 years of your time, you should have done some research before taking such an important or vital decision of your life. So showcasing a certain amount of clarity is of paramount importance over here. So the first point, your intention to come back. Second point, your job designation. The third point is mention 3 or 4 company names, preferably from the same industry segment. If they are IT companies, all 3 or 4 IT companies. If they are banks, all 3 or 4 should be bank companies. Fourth point is explain your job responsibility on that job as per that job designation. The fifth point is you need to explain or link the modules that you are going to study in this course with the future plans, right? So I will again repeat all the 5 points, and then I will give you a simple answer as well, so that you are able to grasp whatever I'm saying in a better manner. So the first is your intention to come back to India, your home country. Second is your job designation. Third is your 3 or 4 company names. Fourth is your job role for that particular designation. And your fifth is to link your job role with the modules that you're going to study. So imagine a student who has applied for a Master of Business Administration, MBA. So you can answer in a way that after the completion of my Master of Business Administration, if it is with placement here, mention clearly with the placement here, I will come back to India with my 1 year of international academic knowledge and 9 months of international work experience. I will apply for the position of, let's say, assistant marketing manager in companies like Flipkart, Amazon, Zomato, any 3 companies or 4 companies. As an assistant marketing manager, my job role will be explained in 2-3 lines. You can go to Google, you can easily find it out. Assistant marketing manager job description in Amazon or in Flipkart. You'll get a detailed job description, and pick up 2-3 lines, the important roles, the main responsibilities, and explain that in the interview. And after that, link it with the modules that I will be studying these modules. This ABC module under the course Masters of Business Administration in UEL will help me enhance my skill set, which will help me do justice to perform my job responsibilities in this area. This module will help me with this job role. This module will help me with that job role. So if you are able to perform, give answer in this manner, trust me, 50 to 60% of your interview is already cleared, right? So future plans will be coupled with another sub question, which is that what will be your expected salary at that particular role? So remember, we can easily find out if we go and research the average salary of an assistant marketing manager or assistant operations manager or quality analyst, any position, the average salary of that particular designation in India, if you go and research about it, you will get a figure. And try not to assume or say anything just out of your judgment. Whatever you say should have facts and figures, should showcase that yes, you did research about it, right? So, for example, if you research about an average salary of an assistant marketing manager in India, it will come out to be around 4 to 5 lakhs per annum, right? So you can say you can frame your answer in a manner that as per my research, the average salary of a assistant marketing manager in India is around 4 to 5 lakhs per annum. However, I'm sure that I will be able to negotiate a higher amount based on the reasons. I will, or a higher amount, mention the amount around 7 to 8 lakhs, let's say, for example, but it will completely depend on your profile also. The reasons can be, you need to be able to justify what you are saying. So as long as you provide a rationale or logic to it, and you are able to convince the interviewer, you are good. So I understand the average salary of an assistant marketing manager is around 4 to 5 lakhs per annum in India. However, I'll be able to negotiate for a high package of around 7 to 8 lakhs per annum, based on the reasons that the average salary has been calculated for the Indian graduates, and in my case, I'll be having a UK academic knowledge, a UK degree, which is given slightly more beneficial or weightage in comparison to the Indian degree. Second, I will have 9 months of international work experience as well, if your course has placement here. Or if you already have a relevant experience, you can mention that second is that I already have a relevant experience of so many years. Third, you can mention that I will be applying to the pay masters in this particular industry. So I'm sure the top ranked companies, MNCs, they will be ready to pay a higher scale of compensation for an eligible candidate. So as long as I'm able to showcase my skill sets are of high level, so I'll be able to secure a higher package. So anything like that, but as long as you're making some logic, right? So coming back to question number 3, is that why have you chosen to study this course at the University of East London, right? So again, in this question also, you need to explain the importance of modules, that yes, you do understand how the modules that you're going to study at University of East London, because when you will be talking about University of East London, the question that you'll be asked along with it is, did you look at any other universities? Right, so do not say, no, I did not look at any other universities and I straight away chose to apply at University of East London. It does not showcase a strong credibility as a student. So always mention that, yes, I did research about 2-3 more universities, name those universities. And sometimes I've seen that the students, they mention that one of the major reasons for me to choose University of East London was its location being in London, and then they end up comparing University of East London with the other universities which are not in London. So it doesn't make any sense at all. So if your major reason was the location, which shouldn't be, location should be a complementary reason. Your major reason should revolve around the modules, the accreditations, the rankings, the student testimonial, student satisfaction rate. But if you talk about the location, then the other 2 universities or 3 universities that you'll be comparing with should also be in the same location, right? So make sure that the universities that you choose are in the same location as University of East London, or do not keep location as your primary reason to choose a university. So how you need to compare University of East London with the other university is you can focus on that UEL provides these few modules which the other universities were not providing, though their degree is also internationally recognized. But these modules, which the other universities are lacking in their curriculum, are really important to me because connect them with your future plans. Again, if you see future plans come in the picture. So if you are able to explain those modules and connect them with your future plan, that is your future job responsibilities, that say, for example, if you are planning to become a software engineer and you're pursuing MSc Computer Science, so the module named Advanced Software Engineering is really important for me because of it will help me gain skill sets which will help me perform my job as a software engineer in a much better manner, right? Do not leave it in just 1 or 2 points. Try to cover at least 4-5 points of comparison. So once you have compared the modules, the accreditation, or the rankings, then you can mention complementary reasons as scholarship, location, infrastructure. So these has to be complementary reasons. The main reasons, again, has to be academics and accreditations and rankings. Okay. Going to the next slide. After this, you will be asked about your gaps in study or same level study. So say, for example, if you completed your bachelor degree in so-and-so month in say May 2017, until now you'll have 3 years of gap. So if you were working during that time, that's a gap that you can justify, right? So, and if you were not working, that's a gap you will not be able to justify, and it will become really difficult for you to clear the interview. So remember, you should be able to, in terms of gap, you should be able to connect your previous study. Say, for example, if you have done bachelor's of engineering in mechanical engineering with your experience that you have after that. If you have, say you have worked as a mechanical engineer in an automobile industry, with the course that you have applied for master's in mechanical engineering, or you have applied for MBA. Either way, you can connect it, but you should be able to link your path so far with your previous study, the experience that you have already, with the course that you have applied for, and all three with your future plans, right? So we will take profile-based questions later on after I'm done with the presentation, and that will be able to give you a much more clarity how you're supposed to answer, right? Because all these questions, they're completely based on your personal information. You know, it differs from individual to individual. 2 different or 3 different students cannot have similar answers. You know, that is not acceptable as well. So I will give a little, I will try to be as personal as possible. But it will still be a little superficial answer unless it is matching or with some individual profile. So let's say a student who has done bachelor's in mechanical engineering, like I mentioned earlier, and then they have 2 years of experience working as a mechanical engineer, automobile engineer in a company, let's say Ford or Toyota. So, and then they later applied for the position of MBA, for the course Masters of Business Administration. So they can link that after the completion of my bachelor degree, I always wanted to become an automobile engineer. Why you are passionate about becoming an automobile engineer, try to explain that, because you want to sound as personalized as possible, as natural as possible. You should be able to explain your passion, your inclination towards that particular field. So after the completion of my course, I was able to secure a job in Toyota as an automobile engineer. I worked there for good 2 years, and I have reached. I feel that I have gained sufficient academic, technical knowledge, from the academic point of view, and also sufficient work experience from the technical point of view. And now I have gained my interest to become a team leader, wherein I'll be leading a batch of around 4 to 5, or depending upon, it has to showcase exact facts and figures, a batch of 4 to 5 automobile engineers. For that, I need to have, coupled with my technical knowledge, I need to add business aesthetics to my profile, to my skill sets. I need to gain more knowledge from the business point of view, or management point of view, or leadership point of view, from the point of view of numbers, because when I'll be managing a team or managing a department at a senior managerial role, I'll be answerable or accountable for the operational cost and the revenue as well. So that is where you'll be explaining the modules that you are going to study at during your course, Masters of Business Administration, and eventually you are linking it with your future plans also. So that is how you're supposed to explain your gap or your previous study with the course that you have applied for. The next question will be, how are you going to fund your studies? So it can be either you, your spouse, or your parents, right? So, or it can be a government sponsor, or it can be an education loan as well. So if you have applied for the bachelor degree and undergraduate degree, though you only have to provide documents for the first year tuition fee and the first year living expenses, maintenance cost, but you need to give clarity about how will you be able to pay for the remaining years. Okay, so mention that yes, you do have savings. You have adequate savings already saved for your higher studies, or your education loan covers the cost of all 3 years living expenses and tuition fees. In case of education loan, yes, your intention to pay back the loan will also be questioned. So the reason, in cases of education loan, your answer regarding what is your expected salary from your future plans will play important vital role. So that is when I would advise that you quote a higher package than the average salary for that particular position. The next important question will be regarding your accommodation. Where do you plan to live in the UK? I always encourage my students to, when you're applying for your higher studies in a university, prefer to stay at the university accommodation itself, because you will be showing yourself as a more genuine student, because if you spend an hour or 2 hours commuting to the university, your cost of commute is added to your regular living costs, and you are also wasting good amount of time every day in the commute itself, which does hamper your study, the time you could have spent in the library, or doing your self-study or your research, right? So, but if you feel that the student accommodation at the university is slightly expensive, you can always choose an accommodation somewhere near the university where you will not take more than 20 to 25 minutes to commute to the university. So I have seen cases wherein students, they have immediate family members, or they have their friends studying at another university, but they chose to stay with them. And they mentioned during the interview that I'll be staying at so-and-so address, which is good 1.5 hours or 2 hours away. UKBI will not accept a genuine student looking into wasting that much of time in the commute. So that we have seen certain rejections on terms of in terms of that as well. So try to stay near the university or at the university accommodation itself. And you should know how you're going to travel, whether you're going to take a bus, you're going to take train from which station to which station, and the everyday cost of travel. It is not necessary that the UKVI will ask you, but as a student, you should know, because you are traveling to another country, and definitely you are supposed to be calculative about your living cost, the average cost that you'll be incurring every day, which is part of your visa application process. So in a way, you are supposed to know. So that is there. The next and last question will be in regard to your any immediate family member that you have in the UK. So if you have any blood relative in the UK, mention that. So share all the details, their name, their visa status, since when they have been in the UK, what do they do. But when you are doing that, remember that you are giving UKVI the reasons to think that you have reasons to stay back in the UK because you have immediate family members in the UK. You do not want to do that. So it's a sensitive scenario wherein you have dependents along with you, you have your husband or your wife or your kids traveling with you, or you have immediate family members with you. You are losing out more reasons. You are losing out your reasons to come back to your home country. So in those cases, when you mention these details that you will be traveling with a dependent or you have family members, couple it with the information wherein you will cover that your social ties and your economic ties back in India, that you have your family responsibilities, you have your business in India, you have a job already in India, a job offer, you have your family business, you have your farmland in India, anything to showcase your social and economic tie back in India. All right. So this is a presentation that our compliance department has prepared for for students' understanding, but I do not think so. We have sufficient time to cover to play this video as of now. Anyway, I believe I have provided more detailed and comprehensive answers or approach towards each and every answer that is important during the precast interview. But at the same point, I will also share this presentation and 2 more reading material with Amar and his team at Meridean. They will further share it with all the applicants and the participants that we have over here. Before I finish the presentation, I would like to cover a few important tips that you should focus at when you are appearing for the precast interview. Try to give your answers as precisely as possible, as detailed as possible, to explain yourself fully and accurately. Try and understand that you are, there can be a technical issue because you will be giving the interview via video link, and your interviewer, he or she may be from a different country. They might have a different accent in English, and the reason why I would advise or I encourage my applicants to speak as slowly and clearly as possible so that every inch of your statement is clear to the interviewer. Remember that they will be recording and they will be typing each and every answer of yours, which will later be handed over to the entry clearance officer to make an assessment on. So if you are not speaking slowly, it will be your loss if they miss out to record few of your answers or important points. They miss out to record important points from your answer, right? So try to speak as slowly and as clearly as possible. Avoid using generic answers and demonstrate that you have done sufficient research, and your answers must be supported with facts and figures, right? So do not give answers like UK is beautiful. It has always been my dream to study in the UK. Those are, we completely understand that yes, you are inclined towards it, but that has been emotional. So which are which is respected, understandable, but it's not necessary. It's a professional interview for a student visa. So the UKVI needs to make a decision whether you are a genuine student or not. So back up your answers with facts and figures. Yeah. So the interviewer will not be trying to catch you. Try to be as natural as you can. It can be a daunting process, this interview, but it is, if you try to understand, it completely depends upon your future plans, your understanding of the modules. It is actually a cakewalk, so not a rocket science. So answer all your questions honestly and clearly. In case there is any technical issue, please report to the interviewer before you leave the interview room. Right? Leave it in the chat column or explain it to the interviewer. Ensure all answers are conducted in English. And if you do not understand a question, please ask the interviewer politely to repeat it. Sorry, sir or ma'am, due to your voice was breaking due to the technical difficulty, I could not understand your question. Would you mind repeating it? Right. So if you have any prior visa refusals, please declare it before the interview. Right. So these are. That is all from my side. If you are able to grasp this information and prepare yourself from these areas, covering these areas, you'll be good. You will be able to pass the interview, I'm sure. And Amar, this is all from my side. And if now what we can do is we can pick up a few questions from our participants. And let's try to focus to pick up a few questions which are profile based so that we can help them frame answers right here and now. This individualistic approach of framing the answers or helping them explain or justify their profile in an academic manner will be really helpful for all the applicants, I think. Over to you now.
Perfect, Pavel. It was a great presentation. I think all of the students have covered most of the topics.
Thank you.
I think you will be visible if you can stop sharing the screen.
All right, we'll do that.
Yes, and ask the questions on chat box. So friends, if you will ask us the questions on live chat option, we'll try to answer as many as possible. And I hope most of your questions regarding precast interview and UKVI interviews are clear. But I would like to add one more thing here, that when you start planning for your interviews, try to put yourself 5 years ahead. Like if you are going now, make sure that when you start writing your SOPs or your CV, your plans to study in UK, like 5 years ahead of right now. So, for example, if you're applying in 2020 and you are preparing yourself for 2025, all these questions will be covered if you focus yourself on 2025. Like by next 5 years, I'll be doing this. Now, to do this, you need these kind of education. You need these particular skills, and then you'll get this job, or you'll be able to start your this business, or you'll enhance your current business. So, if you look 5 years ahead, your goal is clear, and then the UKVI officer will understand that yes, you are a genuine student who is trying to achieve something 5 years down the line, and these are his plans. Secondly, why these interviews are happening and why a lot of user refusals are coming, because a lot of fake profiles are going there. First of all, a lot of students have not a proper intention of education in UK. That is why all of this other students has to suffer. Now you must be able to convince the interviewer that yes, you are going there for your future plans, and this education will actually help you in achieving your goals. So your goal is your first thing which you need to set up first, and then all the answers will come up. So yeah, we'll take questions from students now, but I hope that makes sense.
Definitely, yeah.
So regarding interview, there are a lot of students who are asking, sir, is there a lot of are there 100% chances of visa interview in UKVI? So again, this is not something you should be asking us, because you must be ready with that. Yes, the interview will come.
Definitely. See, there are good chances that UKVI might conduct your interview. but you cannot just leave it on a chance. You cannot just take a chance that they might not conduct your interview, so you should not go prepared. University will make sure, University of East London will make sure that in case that your interview is conducted, you are prepared for it. So before we issue cast letter to you, we'll make sure that you are prepared. So you need to prepare for it.
And other questions are how much time the interview will take from university end.
It usually the duration of the interview depends upon the profile. If they have any gap, if they have any visa rejection, in those cases there will be more prompt questions, but it varies between 20 to 30 minutes, no more than that.
Right. And we had a case couple of days back in where the student has done his law course like LLB, and he
Sorry,
is
what
doing
the
he is
student has done?
LLB, Bachelor's of Law, and now he is
Okay,
going for LLM, so Masters in Law.
all right.
So when the interviewer asked him that, what are your career perspectives, he said, I want to become a teacher. Now, to avoid
No, that
what
does not really go in synchronization with the course that they are applying for. So, if they want to become a teacher, that can be after they have done the PhD, or if they are doing masters in education. It purely depends upon where they want to become a teacher. Back in India, there are other rules and regulations also that apply. There are certifications, there are diplomas that you have to appear for before you become a teacher. But if you're applying for LLM or whichever course that you're applying for, I would strongly encourage that you visit the website, our website, and the respective course page. Believe me, all information is written over there about the course, the selling points, the modules, the future career prospects a student can have, the kind of career they can look out for after the course. That is really important for students to note down. Something which is related to this, I've noticed this also. I've seen a rejection regarding this. A student mentioned that they want to become a marketing manager in company like PwC or Ernst and Young, and that those companies, they do not have marketing manager profile. They rather have brand communications manager, something related to that. So that showcases that you're just assuming something out of the sky. So you're not demonstrating any research. So it's the same with this particular profile also. Even if their command on English is good, they are genuine, they want to become a teacher, they just made a wrong choice about the course, right? So they
right.
need to research slightly more before
And I've seen
deciding to
students like,
invest certain years of their time and lakhs of money.
and I've seen students like when they are asked after finishing MBA, what are you trying to do? A lot of you answer, I want to work in Google or Amazon without even doing any kind of research. And that leads to a refusal. There is no way that you want to get a visa by saying, I want to work in Google. Like just taking 4 or 5 big names doesn't make that you have done enough research. So that is where what I'm saying, make 5 years ahead goal that will come into place, that you won't say Google, because then you have to check what Google requires, and that they will require around 5 to 6 years of experience, then certain kind of skill set which you must have. So to avoid these kind of situations, you must set up a goal first and do a lot of research of how to get there, and how your UK degree will also help you. See, by doing this research, this will not only get you passed in your interview, but this will also help you in achieving your future goals as well. Like you will have a clear idea of why you're doing this course, and you will spend a lot of time in those modules which are helpful in achieving you that goal. So it's a synchronization of like your energy will be there on what you want to achieve rather than going here and there and getting all these refusal kind of things. I think you must focus on your goal and do research accordingly. So any comment on that?
I completely agree with Amar right now over here. So, uh, like I said earlier, also, and I have put pressure on this particular point so many times already, that it is necessary for you to research about your modules, about your future plans, and be able to link your previous studies with your experience, with the course that you applied for, be able to explain the modules, why those modules are important to you, because that will pay foundation to the reason that you have chosen this particular course in University of East London, if you are able to engage yourself with the modules and eventually link those modules with your future plans. So that shows your seriousness as well. So do not leave everything upon your counselors and your agents. So they are already doing a lot to help you and to guide you over the process. Over here, for this particular process, you need to help yourself. So I would advise to be a little serious and start conducting your research about the course.
Because I believe when I was speaking to Dan last time, he was mentioning a lot about how the internships are and how university is helping them getting the internships and then the jobs, and how they are preparing them other than education as well, like not just the modules, but giving you the practical experience of which is relevant to your course and modules. So these kind of things you won't be able to utilize the most until unless you have already prepared and you have already done your research about university, about what extra university is doing. Like I was
Exactly.
hearing about Amazon and how these companies are tying up with university. The students won't be able to take benefit of it until unless they are aware about it and they are doing enough research on these things.
Sorry, Amar, I really skipped the question out of it.
I'm saying that if you won't do the research, you won't be able to participate in other extracurricular activities which are helping them getting the practical education. So my advice is that you must go through the whole university website first, and then make sure that you know other than modules also, like
Exactly. What are the
what.
other support or services that the university provide to the students for a better satisfaction throughout their duration of the course? To uplift their academic and the overall profile, make them ready for the work world.
Yeah.
So all the services and the support that the university provide is something that you can research about and you can use to mention during the PCAS interview or during the credibility interview with UKBI. It will help you frame and answer that why did you choose this particular university, or why did you choose to study this course at this university.
And some of the students are asking, has the university started accepting applications for September intake?
You mean September 2021? Yes, we have.
And someone has a visa refusal for September intake, reason being credibility interview. Can they apply again?
Uh, they can apply, but their chances of rejection, unfortunately, I'm afraid that will be higher. So I would advise for them to keep a few other options open for them.
I think this is pretty much it. The rest of the questions are coming regarding the admission process and their entry criteria and things like that. So we'll be able to answer them. But
Wonderful, Amar. But I'm sure this is it's a live session. It is being recorded, and we can share it with the applicants who were unable to join or participate in this session today. So or if we
yes,
have any
definitely.
further
I'll ask my
applicants in
team
the
to.
coming time, so we can share it with them. It will be helpful for them. It will be helpful for the counselors and for the team also, because eventually you guys are the ones who are helping us guide our students, being the front face of the university. And so far, we have been really impressed by the services or by the quality of students that you have. Our Meridian team has been providing us, and I'm sure, and I'm sure this session will be helpful for all your applicants, and I hope it is helpful for our team also.
I'm pretty much sure this is really helpful because, and guys, this is very serious. A lot of students are getting rejected just because of credibility interview. So make sure you do watch the whole presentation. You prepare yourself for the interview and get it done. Like without preparing for interview, you're not going to pass. Even though you have good communication skills, you will not pass until you have the full plan ready and your communication is good.
Oh, that's correct.
So that's it from our end. Thank you so much, Pavel. That was really helpful. I'm sure a lot of students will get benefit of this, and we'll organize a couple more sessions like this. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much, Amar, for organizing this session today. And it is always lovely to be able to support the students as much as we can. And we cannot wait to welcome all your applicants at our campus during the February intake. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.